What's going on, guys? Shriko here, coming at you with another My Team Career Mode episode. We have part 9 at the Italian Grand Prix at the Temple of Speed this week. And boy, it's shaping up to be a good one, I hope, because you know what? It's Monza, and who doesn't love Monza? Monza's fantastic on this game. It's a load of fun to drive, and it's normally a load of fun to watch because carnage normally unfolds. So he's hoping some carnage unfolds and we can benefit from it and steal some points, because guess what? We are 5 DNFs in 8 races. And by the way, if you haven't seen the last episode, which was part 8, that was at Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix, go check it out. Links description below. But spoiler alert, we had another engine failure and I skidsed it. Very, very much so skidsed it. But anyways, you know, such is life. But 5 DNFs out of 8 races in a 16 race season, not too good, not too good. So we need to hope we need to finish some races. We need to finish some more races. So he's hoping, you know, everything goes pretty smooth for us. We have no issues, and you know, luck's on our side, and we can maybe still steal a few points. But what we are going to have to do, first of all, is renew our contract with our teammate. As you can see on screen there, Robert Schwartzman. It is midway through the season. We need to renew his contract, and that's a no-brainer. We're obviously going to renew his contract. At the end of this season, though, we're probably going to look at bringing in another driver, more, hopefully one of the F1 drivers. Probably not one of the good drivers, you know, because, hey, we're at the back of the grid, but maybe we can still Giovinazzi or, I don't know, Kimi Räikkönen or George Russell or someone like that. But, you know, we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to save up some cash for that. And at the moment, we just need to focus on getting this car into a good spot so we can continue to fight and possibly sneak into some points-paying positions in these last 7 races of the season. Yeah, 7 races. So, anyways, we're renewing his contract here for $2 million, which is honestly very overpriced for what he's doing. He's barely pulling in any R&D points each week and stuff, but, you know, such is life. We don't really have much of a choice without bringing in a fresh F2 driver, and I really can't be bothered for that. But we did get 200 R&D points from the mechanical failure we had, and guess what? It was the energy store again, actually. We've had 2 energy store failures out of 2 engine failures. Well, we had a gearbox failure and 2 engine failures so far, so yeah, so we're going to have to take a penalty. At this point, by the way, I haven't actually watched. I don't even remember what happened in this race, to be honest. It's been about 3 weeks since I recorded this, so I don't know. But in the standings, we're at P8 in the constructors. I think we're just under Yuki there in P14. I don't think I scrolled down, but we're doing okay, you know, all things considering, and especially considering we've had 5 DNFs. It's been a nightmare. There you can see under Yuki. What's that one? Yeah. 5 DNS, 3 finishes, far out, unreal. That's terrible. We really got to pick that up. But now we need reliability's been a big issue for us. I mean, 3 races is kind of annoying. And we had 1 crash and 1 DNF was me just driving terribly. So we decided to go and put some increased durability here on the control electronics. Hopefully the energy store can calm down. And but yeah, as I was saying as well, we are going to take a 5-place grid penalty, and I think just before the race started, I don't actually know, to be honest. We'll see when it comes up, but I'm pretty sure I took an entire new engine. I mean, if I didn't, that was pretty dumb, because you may as well. It's Monza, so you can, you know, should easily be able to make up places, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. We also do upgrade the build time on the durability, and as you just saw as well, we have a weight reduction for the engine cover that should come in after the Russian Grand Prix, I believe. But now we have a powertrain department event. And for this one, it looking back on it, I probably went with the wrong. Probably should have gone and declined it, because you get it 1,000 R&D points. That probably would have been more worthwhile than taking a 50% discount on the ECU upgrade. But, you know, whatever, 50% still 50%, because realistically, that's about what, 500 points we've cut off that. But yeah, I don't know. Each to their own. But in bigger news, we have a retirement announcement. That is, the legend Kimi Räikkönen is retiring from the sport at the end of the year. So that second Alfa, or technically first, I suppose. That Alfa Romeo seat will now be up for grabs for next season. So we will see what happens. I mean, who knows? Schwartzman could end up there, because I'm sure as hell going to ditch him at the end of this year, no doubt. Unless he manages to pick up his game by some miracle. But taking a look over at the performance index, you can see we are narrowly behind Alfa Romeo and narrowly in front of Haas. So the 3 of us are really close together. Alpine have lost some ground, and even AlphaTauri as well to us at the back here. Williams has really dropped off the R&D, so they've really got to pick it up. But Mercedes way ahead of the game. Red Bull just ahead of McLaren and Ferrari, and the Aston Martins are chilling there in the middle of the pack as well. So, you know, I mean, after the performance update, everyone kind of got balanced out again, as you can kind of see with all the R&D progress leveling off. But with us being close to Alfa Romeo, I'm hoping that we can at least get close to P, 12-ish in qualifying, and then that's depending on if we took a full engine or something. That'll, if we only take the 5 spots, then getting close to that P11, P12 will damage limitations. But yeah, into practice. So second race without the line on. I've been doing a bit of practice without the line. I'm slowly trying to play without the racing line on, and it's getting better. It's a lot more fun for sure playing without it. But I did really struggle. I don't know what these corners are called, this one and the next right-hander, but I struggled big time through these corners. I lost a lot of time compared to the AI. It's just because I'm not confident yet in my braking points, and I don't fully commit to the brakes and then fully commit to the corners either. But in saying that, we did end up in P4 after going on a low fuel and qualifying run, 121.5, which wasn't too bad. That's not too bad. Like, I'm pretty sure the AI at this mark do about a like the Mercs will do about a 119 or a 118, maybe not a 118, maybe a 119. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, on to qualifying. The whole goal for here, as I said, was pretty much just to aim for about P11, P12, see what we can do, damage limitation, because at the moment I'm just looking. I don't think we took a grid penalty. But anyways, on to the second lap of Q1. First lap was okay. It was a 21.5 again. But you expect it to be a bit better than that in coming into Q1 from P1. So we got a lot to make up in terms of time, and you can see we're up 7/10. We had Giovinazzi on my backside for pretty much the entire lap up until the very end here, which was really dumb. But we've made up so much time. We're sitting in P20 there on the leaderboard at the top left. So with pretty much 9/10 now, almost an entire second up on our first lap run, we should get through quite comfortably into Q2, which should set us up quite nicely. And yeah, we do. We finished P13. Kimi, the man of the moment, retiring at the end of the season. He just below us. Where'd our teammate end up? Robert Schwarzman, mate. P19. See, this is what I mean. Like, the car's good enough to get out of Q1 now, but he just can't put the lap in. Anyways, on to the second lap of qualifying of the Q2 session. First lap was on the, I don't even know what I did it on. I can't even remember now. I think we did it on a fresh set. I think we've just used up fresh sets here, because I was like, even if we make it through to Q3, which is a fat chance, what's the point in going out? But anyway, so we're 4/10 up already coming around Curva Grande. So yeah, Hamilton's done a 19.5. That's Q2, remember? So they'll probably peak into the 18s in Q3. We're still only 4/10 up cutting the end of this lap, but the lap was a lot better. But my Q1 lap, I think, was my Q1 best lap from Q1 was a lot better than either of these ones here. So we're 4.5 up on our time. Where does that get us on the grid? We finish P15. 16. P16. Ah, beautiful. So we're going to be starting from the back of the grid now, with that 5-place grid penalty, and 99% sure I didn't take any other engine components either. Claire, what are you doing? I don't want to see you. Oh, we got our rival choice. We got the choices of Alpine or Aston Martin. And we went with Stroll just because he's been doing the worst out of those 4, but hopefully, we can pick up some points there for some some acclaim points for that. But look, for this coming into this weekend, starting from the back of the grid, I mean, what's new in this career mode at the moment? We're fresh, but it's Monza. You don't know what's going to happen. Some crazy stuff more than likely will happen. Aim of the game, let's get ahead of the pack as much as we can on the first couple of laps. If there's safety cars, hopefully, is a bit advantageous to us. And we really got to utilize a slipstream to cut through the field. Because I'm pretty sure our straight line speed isn't too bad, all things considering. Where I was losing a lot of time was on those corners in the second sector. But anyways, on to the race weekend, Sunday with Crofty. Catch you guys there.
Welcome back to one of only 2 countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations. And it's time to get underway for the Italian... It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Raikkonen, Lance Stroll, and Russell, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Mick Schumacher, and the Professor. They've taken a grid penalty. Mazepin, Vettel, Schwartzman, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So there we have it. There's your grid, the usual suspects. Mercedes 1-2 lockout with Red Bull, McLaren not far behind. But we do have quite a number of people taking some engine penalties along with us. So, you know, we only went down 2 places to P18, which is pretty good. I was expecting, you know, to start at the back of the grid. We got, you know, Schwartzman there starting in P21 as well. So he's obviously taken a grid penalty. Latifi, Vettel, Sainz, all taking grid penalties as well. So we got a few fast cars sitting behind some slow cars. You know, we've got Sainz and Vettel. So hopefully Sainz can try and battle, but be held up by those guys ahead. You know, give us some time to catch and hopefully make some overtakes, some advantageous overtakes. So as you can see there, everybody was starting on the softs, and I was thinking about the alternate strategy going to mediums to softs. Because of the slipstream, I figured it might be worth, we should, if we can hold on to some of these cars, get some clean air when they all go in after about 10 laps or so, or whatever the pit window is for them. Which will look like, yeah, 10, 11. Then we will be looking pretty good at the end of the race because we'll be on the soft compound, low fuel, slipstream. You know, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. We can actually fight pretty hard then. But the key is that the start of this race is super important on the alternate with everybody else on the softs. So he's hoping it's not a mistake. And that we hope. The issue too is if there's a safety car early on. Safety car early on can completely screw us up. And we'll probably have to go onto the hard compound tires to obviously keep it at a 1-stop and make it to the end of the race. So, you know, big risks, but for a big reward. So let's head over to the race start. Here we go. Here we go. We got 4 lights, 5 engines firing. And it's lights out and away we go here at the Italian Grand Prix. We got off to not a bad start, but there is Mazepin with a lightning start. And we actually don't get the grip, which is pretty expected when all these guys are on the soft compound. So we look up the inside here and have a huge dive bomb up the inside, keeping it nice and clean. And we pull alongside Gio in the Alfa Romeo. And that ended up being pretty clean, all things considering. You know, I was expecting to get swamped a little bit at the start with that long run down to turn 1 as we come around Curva Grande, who's still battling side by side with Giovinazzi, and we have Carlos Sainz looking at the back of us there. I don't even know where we are in this shot. This is crazy. There's too many damn cars side by side. It's ridiculous. Coming into the first chicane here, we pull ahead of Giovinazzi so we've had a very good start to this race. Gio is obviously coming up the inside now. Oh my lord. Those soft compounded tires are obviously going to be really tough to compete with. You know, the Alfa Romeo is just ahead of us in the R&D charts. So it's going to be tough to hang on to him, while also we have Sainz up the backside of us. So we've got a lot of work to do here if we're going to stay in this race and not lose touch of the midfield pack as we look to go up the inside of Gio, coming into the Ascari chicane. We think better of it and stick behind him as look how close Carlos Sainz is. Maybe looking to even make a pounce on us here as we go super wide out of the exit. Carlos Sainz pulls up level neck and neck with us. But we have the straight line speed utilizing ERS all the way down this back straight here into Parabolica. Coming into lap 2, we are sitting, I don't even know what position we're sitting in here, but we are behind Gio. Looking pretty good. Where are we? P16. So we made up, only 2 positions. I thought we made up a bit more than that. But onto lap 2 now. Looking at the back of Gio coming into turn 1 here, but we're not going to get close enough. So that's one thing I've been really working on is picking my moments for these kamikaze dive bombs up the inside of some people, as we have a big moment on the throttle there. Gio gets away from us. Carlos Sainz is right on the back of us now, and we've actually had contact with him. What the hell? What happened here? Take a look at the onboard with Carlos Sainz. As you can see, we lose. We go all over the place, and just a little touch there. Sainz, his front wing, well, that could be damage for him as we go on to lap 3. And there's a big battle ahead of us. And as you can see, Sainz has dropped off. He ended up pitting for a new front wing. And we got a 2x2 here. Look at this. So who's that? We got Kimi and Lance Stroll battling. Then we got Russell and Gio battling as well. And this has brought us back into it. We were quite far behind Gio after our little moment there at lap 2. But this battling here, which has been phenomenal, 2x2 all the way through the first chicane, all the way around Curva Grande. And it looks like we got Stroll ahead of Kimi, ahead of Russell, who then goes and has a look at who's that? Is that? I don't even know what's going on. We're behind Giovinazzi, and then Russell had a look at Raikkonen. Actually, I cannot keep up. It's been so long since I've known, like, since I pretty much recorded this race. I have no idea what's going on in this race anymore. As we look up the inside of Giovinazzi into the Ascari chicane, we get the move done. Go a little wide there, but we stick on the racing line. Back end slipping out on the large fuel loads, but we get the move done. Make it stick. Beautiful move as Giro now looks to come up the back of us. That's what I mean. The slipstream is incredible on Monza. But we managed to keep it in front as actually, never mind. Giro's up the inside on the switchback. Actually makes a little bit of contact wheel to wheel there. And he gets ahead of us again. And he's going to have DRS as well. No, we have DRS. So he gets ahead of us. But we have DRS. So we're going to get one back on him yet again. Coming down this long pit straight. And it's just toing and froing, typical Monza, which is fantastic in this game. It makes it a lot of fun as we fast forward through this race a little bit. You know, me and Gio are tied at the hips here pretty much with this race. We're trying to also catch, we get into the DRS zone of Russell actually, which I remember in that moment, that was one thing I do remember. I was like, we've got to get DRS here. Never mind, because we've just butchered it. And Gio looks up the inside, and we nearly make contact, and we're still too wide here as he puts his nose in yet again, and we go round the outside, and we have a little bit better traction, and we get ahead of Giovinazzi. Oh my god, Gio is just constantly looking at the back of us, and now we skip to lap 5. Gio looking at the back of us yet again with Vettel up close to his backside as well, and we are 2.2 seconds behind George Russell. So you can see these medium compound tyres are yellow flags ahead. Someone's off. We're looking at Gio behind, and there's Kimi Raikkonen. Oh my god! We're straight into the back of Kimi Raikkonen, and somehow, and we got a 5-second, but we got a 10-second penalty. We got 15 seconds of penalties. Oh my god, what the freaking hell just happened there? We got full core safety car. Let's take a look. What on earth happened? We just run straight into the backside of Giovinazzi. That's incredible. So there's the AlphaTauri off the left-hand side, which, in all honesty, I thought that's what the yellow flag was for. And then I was looking in my mirror at Giovinazzi, looked up, and at this point, it's way too late for me to make any corrections. Just before I hit Kimi, that was it. And oh, Gio, I'm sorry. Oh my god, that is a huge crash. We have not. Let's take a look from Vettel's perspective. We slam into the back of Kimi, who then pivots and takes the front wing and front left. And oh my god, we cut across. I completely forgot about that. No wonder we have 15 seconds of penalties. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god. We take a look at I think that's Yuki Tsunoda now, and he just loses the back end, and that's what happened. So Kimi has just run into the back of Yuki, sliding off, lost his front left wheel. We did not see this at all. I assumed the yellow flag was for Yuki Tsunoda. So what's happened is then I'm looking at Gio, worrying about him, looked up, see Kimi's parked on the racing line, and by that point I had nowhere to go. And somehow we didn't lose a tyre, and we didn't have any damage other than front wing. And look how close Stroll is here. He just avoids, look at that, oh my lord. He just avoids Kimi's tyres here. This is ridiculous. That's millimeters. That is millimeters apart. But I feel sorry for Gio here. He's been he was a passenger in this. This was honestly all my fault. I just was not paying attention like, it's a yellow flag. I've got to be paying more attention. I wrongly assumed that Tsunoda was what the yellow flag was for, and I was very wrong. But this was very poor from me. I was in such a hurry to get back into the pits. I am surprised Vettel did not have any damage there. And because of that, we went on to the soft compounds. I should have stayed ahead, stayed on the track and not cut into the pit lane. That was very poor of me. You can't be doing that. So 15 seconds of penalties deserved. We've served 5 seconds already. We'll have to make another stop because we didn't have time to switch to the hard compounds. So we're going to have a 5-second penalty at the end of the race as we get away from the safety car restart, and we're behind Sainz in P17 with Vettel and Stroll behind us, both on the hard compounds. And so we're on the softs. We've got to make some big ground on the rest of the field here if possible. But everybody's going to be on new, fresh tyres. And oh my God, Carlos Sainz has hit the back of who was that? Who did he hit the back of? Oh my Lord. Now we've been caught up behind him as well. What a safety car restart. What the hell was Carlos Sainz doing? He just pulled out directly. That was the Alpine of not George Russell, Esteban Ocon, I think, or Alonso. He's just pulled out and broken too late. That's a huge mistake from Carlos Sainz there. And we nearly got caught up in that, actually. As we look to the inside as well there, you can see we were very lucky to avoid that. And carbon fiber flying everywhere. And I'm surprised that the safety car hasn't been deployed again. And that's probably why, because Carlos Sainz is just... he just vanished into thin air. Anyways, as we take a look onto lap 13 of this race, not much was happening, and on lap 13, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen were having a titanic battle here for the lead. As Verstappen, he's on hard compound, and Lando's on the mediums, but Verstappen is really taking it to Lando here, too wide, round Curva Grande, all the way into the next chicane here. And it's super close, side by side, but Lando on the softer compound just gets his nose in front and gets ahead into the lead of this race. So we have Lando in P1. We got Verstappen sitting in P2 with Hamilton and Leclerc in P3 and 4 respectively. The top four are very, very close. And then as you can see, the gap is forming to P5. So the top four, they're pulling away a bit from the rest of the field here. But what will be interesting is because Verstappen is the only one of these top four on hard compounds. I think the other three are on softs. So those three are going to have to make another pit stop at some point. And then you've also got, remember, back in the field, you've got the two Aston Martins. Never mind, Lance Stroll is DNF'd. What did he DNF from? I don't even know, to be honest. But Lance Stroll is DNF'd, so Vettel is sitting there in P10. We're sitting in P9, actually, as well. Where on earth what happened there? Oh, it's pit stops. Never mind. Don't worry. See, this is why you can't commentate on a race that happens 3 weeks before. I can't remember anything that happens, and I don't understand context. Anyways, we're on to lap 5. We've got 10 seconds of penalties. Vettel is 4.1 seconds behind us on the hard compound. So he's looking pretty good, actually. He doesn't need to make a stop. And look at all these. I think everybody except for, like, the two Red Bulls are on soft compound ahead of me. So everybody ahead of me has to make pit stops still. So Red Bull are looking mighty pretty. So is Sebastian Vettel. I think we're going in for our pit stop this lap as the tyre wear was starting to kick in. I mean, the front left was on 38%. Yeah, so we actually skipped to lap 17. Never mind, I don't even know what I'm going on about anymore. Bottas caught us very quickly on those medium compound tyres. He went from about 5-6 seconds behind us to 1.5 seconds behind us. So we've come into the pits now. We're going on to a set of mediums, I believe, to finish off the race, or even another set of softs. I think we're softs. Yeah, we're going off soft. But we have a 5-second penalty to sit through, and just listen to the cars going by on the left. Twiddle my thumbs, no worries, and we're off. 7.7 seconds, not too bad. Pretty decent pit stop, all things considering, with that 5-second time penalty. So we come out in P15, make that P16 as Nikita Mazepin gets ahead of us. But we got a few cars ahead of us on the hard compound. So now we have 9 laps to go. We're on the soft compound, light fuel. We just got to put our heads down and go for it. You know, we are second last on this grid at the moment, taking into consideration all the DNFs because there's been quite a few. So we've just got to put our heads down. And lap 18 into the Scurry chicane, we're already caught right up to Nikita Mazepin on our out. I think this is still our out lap. I'm not even paying attention. I think I've said I'm not paying attention about 8 times this race, so I apologize. This commentator's got to sort his shit out, as we actually ended up backing off here. So we were going to get the overtake on Nikita Mazepin, and then I figured, you know what, we'll get DRS, make sure we get the move done, and we can pull away from him a little bit. It'll probably overall give us a little bit more time as we get the overtake done before the DRS zone even. So Nikita Mazepin in the Haas, see you later. On to lap 20. We were head down, catching Latifi. We're 4.5 seconds behind Mazepin. We needed to get a gap on these guys at the back just to try and keep our position pretty high, just for pride, really. There's no, like, you look at the minimap down below, Schwartzman and Latifi are the only two we can catch. Ahead of that is the Alpine, and I think they're quite a few, like 4 or 5 seconds up the road from Schwartzman. So it's 7 laps to go. It's going to be an arduous task to catch them. But anyways, we come at the end of lap 21 onto the start of lap 22. We're on all over the back of Latifi. Purple sector 3, DRS open. We get down the outside. Schwartzman, we're going to be boxed in here, but Schwartzman moves over and lets us by and squeezes Latifi out. How about we go deep into turn 1, round turn 2, and we're up on the double overtake of Latifi and Schwartzman, all thanks to Schwartzman playing his part. Team orders. Don't need team orders. Schwartzman's just a team player. Far out. I think we better keep him now after that. If he's going to pull that a few more times. So we skipped to lap 25. Not much happened. We're in between cars. We've caught Russell massively in the Williams. Yellow flags ahead of us as somebody's gone off. Who's gone off? I don't know. He's got Sergio Perez. There he is up ahead. He's going very slow. So I don't know what's happened there, but he's on the left-hand side there. And he's got some sort of issue going very, very slow. As we actually take a look on board with him to have a look and see what's going on. As he's coming into the Ascari chicane and oh no, Sergio with a puncture, with an absolute puncture. And then what's going on here? It's a parking lot. Sergio Perez going at 5k an hour, and then you've got the Mercs are just setting up behind him. What's going on there? They nearly have an accident because of that. And then you can... My teammate's done the same thing. And you know what? Schwartzman, I flipped to the front wing here because I do remember he actually went into the pits and got his front wing changed because of that. Came round, Parabolica, touched the back of Perez and had to go into the pits. So we're on to the final lap of the Grand Prix now. It's been a bit of a crazy start, and then it's, you know, petered off a little bit. We have caught up to George Russell, though, in the Williams, but we're not going to, even if we get ahead of him, we're not, which, you know, we're not going to, we've got a 5-second time penalty, but look at the gap that we made on Yuki Tsunoda, 22 seconds. He actually caught up to Latifi, so that's how far ahead of Latifi we got ahead of. You know, we gained a position from Perez, so it ended up in P12 after one hell of a Grand Prix. My lord, I don't even know what to say. We shot ourselves in the foot a little bit that race, but it was entertaining. That lap 5 crash was about one of the most ridiculous things that's ever happened to me on this game. Kimi Räikkönen parked up on the racing line, me not paying attention, and it just a domino effect of cars going. See you later. And the two Aston Martins were very lucky to escape damage on both of those, especially considering we tried to wipe out Sebastian Vettel. But yeah, anyways, so we end in a pretty decent position, all things considering. Hindsight was probably not a good idea to take the alternate strategy when everyone was on the softs, especially with that safety car. Hard to kind of talk over these two, eh? We don't really care what they're saying, but we ended up P12 there. Yuki Tsunoda P13 with a 22 seconds behind us. Well, ended up a bit less than that after the 5-second time penalty. So Max Verstappen ended up sitting very pretty in P1. The two Mercs behind him in 2 and 3, filling out the podium positions. And Sebastian Vettel up to P6. So if it goes to show you, if we had not ducked into the pit lane, one, we would have had 5 seconds less of penalties. So we only would have had 10 seconds left to serve. We still would have had 5 seconds on at the end of the race. But we could have jumped onto the hard compound tires and we would have been up fighting with Vettel. We probably would have ended up about P7, P8, more than likely, after the penalties. But we would have been in the points paying position. So, you know, my poor awareness on track and my rash decision to get into the pit lane over the solid white line gave me extra time penalties, and actually we would have got 5. Yeah, so I shot myself in the foot this race, but it was nonetheless a pretty entertaining and crazy Monza Grand Prix, as you always expect. Drivers' Championship, we have Lewis Hamilton with an 18-point lead over Valtteri Bottas, and then a 45-point lead over Lando Norris. So it looks like the Drivers' Championship is going to be between the two Mercedes. So the Constructors' Championship, no doubt, will be handed to Mercedes pretty soon. As you can see, look at that. 109 points ahead of McLaren. Red Bull, not too far behind McLaren, but still a way away from them. You know, 50-odd points. That's a lot to make up. So the Mercs dominating this one. This season is going to be all about Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. And it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few races. So next race, though, we have the Russian Grand Prix. So this one I actually recorded right before the IRL Russian Grand Prix. RIP Lando, we love you, man. But that one, if I do remember, that was also a couple weeks ago I recorded that. That was quite an entertaining one, so be sure to keep an eye out for that one. But until then, I'll see you guys next time, and have a good one. Peace.